Program is a presentation of Hall Sports Communications.
Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, presents today's sports report. On today's program, we'll talk about University of Georgia football and more. And now, from the studios of UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram, here's the host of today's sports report, Chris Hall.
Hey guys, welcome to today's sports report brought to you by UGA Football News. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Tonight we have our live program on Facebook. Chris Hall with you. Matthew Hall showing up as well. Wearing his, what you got on your shirt there? What is that, the doghouse? That's Uga's house.
Beware of dogs. You got to be
Yeah, there you go. I like it. I like the t-shirt. Good to have you guys with us.
Southeast Mortgage on there too.
Yeah, we love Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, and the sponsor of today's sports report brought to you by UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Now, you guys we can see your comments. So whatever page you're on and you're watching us, you can send us a hello if you want to, if you have a question, an opinion. Hey, we got some trivia questions as well tonight. Of course, we're going to be talking about University of Georgia football. The big win for Georgia over Missouri last Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit, and we'll look forward to what might be, as some might say, a challenging game for the University of Georgia. The Tennessee Volunteers, Georgia traveling up to Knoxville, 104,000 people with Rocky Top on their mind, for heaven's sakes. So that'll be coming up on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit. Arian Smith has been injured. We have Corey coming in. Trip Block as well. We love Trip. Good to see you.
Hey, Trip.
Yeah, Arian Smith, what did he do, Matthew? He busted a knee or something like that.
Broken bone.
Broke bone. So
we'll be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's going to have surgery. He has to have surgery. Hey, Miss Shelby, how are you?
Hey,
we love Miss Shelby. Arian, I've got the thing around here somewhere. Arian Smith is out for the season. He broke a bone. And anyway, I'll feel on Wednesday in practice. Oh, here it is. He suffered a broken leg in practice on Wednesday, and that'll keep him out for the remainder of the season. So Arian Smith, who had a pretty good game against Missouri, made a great catch. And so in the end zone for a touchdown. So Arian Smith, one of our big wide receiver weapons, is out. Hey, Brianne, go Dogs.
Go Dogs, that's right.
And also Georgia did get a flip from the University of Florida, Raymond Cottrell. He was a commit to the University of Florida, pretty highly five-star. Pretty a wide receiver, highly touted, one of the top recruits for the University of Florida. The hits just keep on coming for the University of Florida. Raymond Cottrell flipped today from his commitment to the Gators, and he is now committed to the University of Georgia. This is for the 2022 recruiting class, next year's the next recruiting class. So welcome,
you gotta
Raymond Cottrell.
Yeah, you gotta love getting the guy any flip from Mullen in Florida. I mean, and then and not to hop on that train, but we'll go back and talk, just briefly touch on Dan Mullen's comments.
Recruiting.
In terms of recruiting, and the difference between what the caliber of coaching that you have that is going on right now, presently at the University of Georgia, in terms of recruiting compared to that of, the University of Florida and maybe a pile of other Power 5 or programs or other institutions. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, recruiting never ends. Maybe during a dead period when you're not allowed to do such, but recruiting never ends. It definitely does not end during the season. So Dan Mullen, matter of fact, I heard he was not even given any more press conferences. Directly after a day or so after making these statements, because that's all the questions he was going to get was about
Yeah.
what he said about recruiting. And so he actually did not even hold the press conferences that he was supposed to have. He canceled
And I fired 2 of his assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, is out, and one of the other coaches. Florida, of course, obviously having not the season they expected. South Carolina beat them. South Carolina, Florida was a 20-point favorite. Went up to South Carolina, and they lost to South Carolina by 20 points.
Right.
So South Carolina, let's see, that final score from last week, 40-17. South Carolina beating Florida. So, by the way, it's Veterans Day, and that's why I have my patriotic shirt on. And so thank God for our veterans. We want to say we appreciate you all for your service, men and women, in whatever branch of service that you might be currently serving, or those who have served. My dad was a World War II veteran. Your grandfather, Matthew's grandfather, World War II veteran. And we love our veterans. We thank God for you, your willingness to stand in defense of our freedom and our values. Where would we be as a country without our veterans? So God bless our veterans.
That's
God
right.
bless America. We love you guys. We thank you guys. And we know we have a lot of UGA football fans that are in the armed forces as well.
Matter of fact, I mean, I've spoken with several men, men and women that are in the service now. In the last few weeks even. So we do have followers, and fans that follow us, that are based and stationed all over the world. I mean, in the military. I mean, and those people, they're putting up a sacrifice for us all. Don't ever minimize what they do. What people in the military do. I mean, they really do give up their all, and their freedom really is on the line to protect our country's freedom. It's a sacrifice to join the armed forces and be sent off overseas. That's what it is. It doesn't matter if you go and fight the battle or not. If you're separated from your family, that's a sacrifice you're making, and you're doing it on behalf of the country. So Veterans Day is no joke. To us around here, I mean, we take it seriously. I posted earlier this morning. Matter of fact, it was the first post I made this morning. It was about Dog Nation saluting our veterans, and it gave the background of Veterans Day from history.com, on the post as well, just a little short summary, how that came to be about. But past, present, and even the future military members. I mean, there's piles of seniors in high school right now that are looking for the opportunity to go now. So, I mean, everybody that's a part of the military, I mean, thank God for you.
Yeah, we appreciate them and we love them. Here's our first trivia question of our program. See if you know this. And of course, you can probably Google it or whatever, but just see if you know this. And this comes from back in the day in 2000. This is a Georgia-Tennessee trivia question. And so, if you're a Larry Munson fan, you might get this right off the bat. In 2001, Georgia beat Tennessee in a last-second win when David Green, passing yardage leader of all quarterbacks for the University of Georgia, threw a touchdown pass to Vernon Hayes. After the touchdown, Larry Munson made one of his most memorable calls. Exactly what did Larry say Georgia did with the hobnail boot? if you know that trivia question, put it up in a comment.
Yeah, let's see who knows it. Let's see who gets it. Let's see who puts it in first on this one.
Yeah, you get it,
very well known. That's actually very well known footage. It's been shown time and time again. It's part of Georgia football history. I mean, that particular play and incident with the individuals involved and whatnot. So, that's a turning back the clock there kind of thing on this Thursday. A throwback Thursday there for you.
I can't believe we did that. I can't believe it. Okay. Let's see. All right, coming up Saturday, the 13th, 3:30 p.m. Neyland Stadium, 102,455, the official capacity for Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. You have Georgia taking on Tennessee. Georgia 9-0, of course, 7-0 in the SEC. Tennessee 5-4, 3-3 in the SEC. Georgia is leading in the all-time series results now. Georgia's won 25 games against Tennessee. Tennessee's won 23 against Georgia. There's been 2 ties. Currently, of course, Georgia is number 1 in the country. Tennessee is not ranked for the 5th straight week. Georgia is the unanimous number 1 team in the AP and the coaches poll. This marks the first time since 2008 in the preseason that the Dogs have carried the top ranking in both polls. Currently, Georgia is ranked number 1 in the college football playoff poll. So I've been doing a lot of reading about this game and trying to get some more information about Tennessee. I did watch them against Kentucky last Saturday night. Pretty exciting game with Tennessee winning over Kentucky in Lexington, 45-42. 42. And Tennessee, that was a good game. Tennessee played very well. Kentucky on a little slide now, especially since Georgia took them out. They've lost several games. So you have Georgia traveling up to Knoxville, Tennessee. The prognosticators still have most of them. I haven't seen anyone who is predicting an upset, but most of them still have Georgia winning by what we would consider to be a comfortable margin. Georgia is a 20-point favorite going into the game against Tennessee. I don't know if that's going to happen. It could happen. I don't know. But you got Georgia heading up to Tennessee. Just a little bit about Tennessee. Of course, Josh Heupel now is the head coach for the University of Tennessee. They have a great quarterback, Hendon Hooker. He threw for a career-high 316 yards and 4 touchdowns against Kentucky, earning the SEC Offensive Player of the Week honors. Offensive tackle Cade Mays. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it ought to. Cade Mays last year was in a University of Georgia uniform. He transferred to Tennessee, and he's from Tennessee, and, so he's gone up there. Anyway, Cade Mays had a good game. He was the SEC Lineman of the Week for the second time. He earned that honor.
That's right.
In the Kentucky game. And so you got the Volunteers now, 5-4 overall, 2-3 in the SEC play. And Tennessee will be playing their 4th top 10 opponent in a row when the number 1 team in the country comes calling to Knoxville. Kathy Sue Ferguson said
that's right. Very good, Kathy.
Larry Munson said they stepped on their face with a hobnail boot. Here's what Larry said. I'm going to do it in my Larry Munson voice. We broke their nose. We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just stepped and crushed their faces. So anyway, that's right. And Larry Munson back in 2001. And of course, you don't script those things. I've been in broadcasting for quite a while, and you don't script those things. They just come out. And right. Of course, that was very memorable call.
Gary Cheek, appreciate you coming in too. Corey Hooten, Miss Langley, Jason Evans, go Dogs. Just want to make sure to mention all y'all.
Gary Cheek. Good to have you, Gary.
Appreciate y'all coming on now.
One other thing about Tennessee's defense is not that great. If you look at them statistically, they are surrendering 418 yards a game. The Tennessee defense giving up 28.2 points per game, giving up 5.25 yards a snap. So, they're a little challenged on the defensive side. On the offensive side, they're averaging 457 yards per game, 38.2 points a game. On the offensive side for Tennessee, Hendon Hooker, of course, the quarterback, has been fantastic. He's thrown for over 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, and they've got pretty good running backs as well. So here we go. It's a 3:30 game. It's on CBS up in Knoxville. I'm glad it's during the day. It seems like there's something at night. Like when you go to LSU, you go to Knoxville, and there's something about when the sun goes down and you get those 100 and some whatever 1,000 people in a stadium, and they get to rocking and rolling. So I'm glad we're a 3:30 game with Tennessee. I think Georgia. Obviously, I believe Georgia is going to win the game. I think the first half might be a little tight, but I think eventually Georgia is going to, take control of the game. One prediction that I saw, an average prediction, Georgia 41, Tennessee 20. That's the average prediction for the final in the game. I think that might be about right. What do you think, Matthew, with Georgia?
Well,
Let's see. Brianne Grover says Georgia's going to beat Tennessee. I'm with you.
I mean, I believe that too, Brianne.
And Gary Cheek says Larry was the best, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
too.
Larry was. I mean, you cannot replace Larry Munson. I mean, there is no replacement.
But we love Scott Howard. Now, Scott Howard and Eric Zier are great.
Yeah, at work too. Fryer, who does all the, he does a lot of the player interviews that go on GeorgiaDogs.com, not just for football, but for all the sports. So there's a lot of different people out there in that respect. But in terms of this game, Tennessee is they really come on a lot under Heupel.
Josh has done a great
job. It kind of makes you scared a little bit. I mean, in a way, because you get, just like any player would have, you'd have some butterflies. I mean, I would imagine that some Georgia fans out there have some butterflies and some anticipation. Some worries, some anticipation coming along. I mean, we have played great. If Georgia shows up, same defense shows up that has showed up every week, it will be a dominating victory, I believe. I don't believe that Tennessee has faced a defense like Georgia at all. With that said, I do think you could see a lot this game move a lot like the Kentucky game, where it was a little bit closer in the first half, but then Georgia pulled away, and towards, of course, the last 5 minutes of the first half, you saw three touchdowns from Georgia.
We could do that again.
And then from that point forward, Georgia really just never let off the gas. And, the defense really took control of that game, and then it led to offensive production, being even stronger throughout the rest of that game, and confidence. You go in with a big lead, you're going to have confidence. I like that score, 51-21, Kathy Sue Ferguson. I would not doubt that Georgia does not, I wouldn't doubt they put 40-50 on this board.
Yeah, good to do it
easily. I know it's an away game. I do agree with my father on the fact that it's a 3:30 game, and I like it better at 3:30 than at night. I believe you could say that for several stadiums, including LSU, Alabama, Auburn. I mean, there's some stadiums you just don't want to play in at night. Texas A&M, there's quite a few actually, if you really think about it. So, I mean, Georgia's going to be, I think they'll come out. I mean, and here's, the mentality, I believe, and it has been, hey, each week our record is 0-0. And I believe that's the mentality that's beating their head every day. That, hey, just like we've said before on this program, there is no mid-season champion. There's no such thing. There never has been a mid-season champion crowned. So, Georgia is going to have to finish what we've started. I mean, and they're going to have to show up there. And look, you cannot take any Saturday and any opponent at this point for granted. Any given Saturday, you can get beat, and no matter who the opponent. So, with that said, Georgia has to come, and they have to be prepared for this game.
Yeah.
Because I can assure you, Tennessee would love nothing more than to savagely ruin Georgia's records, their season in a way. They would love nothing more than that. I promise you, they got a G on a dartboard this week inside. They've been throwing darts at it, because I promise you, they're going to be prepared.
Well, when you're the number one team in the country, you got that big target on you. What is Kirby's mindset going into Tennessee? I love this quote from his press conference that he had this week. Kirby Smart was asked about the challenge of playing in Knoxville, and apparently it's going to be cooler temperatures expected to drop into the 30s in Knoxville. And he equated the University of Georgia, his team, to hunters. Here's what he said. He said, good football teams hunt. You go hunting, and you aren't worried about the weather. If you're worried about the weather, you're doing the wrong kind of hunting. For us, we're looking at it as if we're going to play a game, and the outside factors are nothing but distractions. Therefore, people that want to find excuses and find reasons that they can't play well or won't play well. So they look to the weather. I've never seen a guy that's hungry to eat that is worried about the weather. You go,
That's
Kirby.
right.
Kirby
Look,
said, we going hunting. We going hunting, y'all.
That's the first time I've heard that. I didn't hear that yet. But
Yeah.
after hearing it, I do love that analogy, and I love it. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I think it was Amarius Mims I saw on Instagram today. It's either him or it was one of the defensive players, but they were talking about how that everything's going well so far, but they mentioned the camaraderie and how that was developed more and more. And they said that the reason that you see that camaraderie among the players this year is because, in the past, Kirby would put them in groups. They would be in like a small group working with other people to learn each other. But this time it's been more personal, from what I hear. And meaning that these players, have to spend one-on-one time with other players more than, I guess, in past seasons that we've had. And I know that has attributed a lot to the family, the family connection that's going on between the Georgia Bulldogs defensive players. And of course, that just is like we've talked about before. I mean, your defense plays great. You don't have to score a whole lot of points, but when your defense plays great, usually it leads to your offense playing pretty good too. Yeah. So it's a cause and effect. Jason Evans says, I think we've seen.
So the quarterback this year with Hooker, same quarterback with Arkansas,
right.
The same kind of quarterback. And we should handle it. Let's just revisit one more time how great our defense is. Yeah. Georgia has now outscored their opponents so far this year, 346-59, en route to a 9-0 record. Georgia has locked down the SEC championship game for the SEC East. Offensively, Stetson Bennett had a great game. We were in the stands for the Missouri game. Stetson Bennett had a great game. For the year, Stetson has completed 66% of his passes, 1,412 yards, 14 touchdowns. He's had 4 interceptions. His passer rating is 197.3 and 11.8 yards per pass attempt. Those are the best in the conference. And so Stetson Bennett continues to be steady. JT Daniels was on the field on Saturday, did a good job, completed several passes. JT looked very, very comfortable. And so the receivers, our receivers did a good job. And so anyway, so we got that coming up, Tennessee and Georgia. By the way, here's another Larry Munson. Trivia question. And then we're going to take a break and make sure our good folks at Southeast Mortgage, everybody can hear about them. Larry Munson was the voice of the Dogs for 42 years. 42 years. How many games did Larry Munson miss in his career? Interesting. How many games did Larry Munson miss in 42 seasons as the voice of the Georgia Bulldogs? We'll have the answer to that question and a lot more in just a moment.
Today's sports report will be right back after this message from Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs.
This is head coach Kirby Smart. It's my job to coach the fundamentals of football and prepare my guys for the future. Well, my friends at Southeast Mortgage are preparing you for your future by becoming a homeowner. Every Bulldog deserves a home. If you're in the market to purchase or refinance, I trust Southeast Mortgage to provide the best experience and get it done. Visit southeastmortgage.com/UGA to get pre-approved for your home loan today. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Southeast Mortgage of Georgia Incorporated, NMLS, number 103956, Georgia Residential Mortgage License number 6578.
The only thing better than winning between the hedges on Saturday is coming home to this on Sunday. On the football field, I'm a coach. At home, I'm a dad. The field is where legends are made, where boys become men, dreams become reality, and teammates become family. Family is the most important thing. It's everything we have. And home is where a family's memories are made. So when the time comes to finance your home, make the smart choice and get your home loan with Southeast Mortgage.
joining us. And welcome back to today's Sports Report.
Okay, Larry Munson, the voice of the okay, there we are. We're back. There we are. I jumped the gun there. Larry Munson was the voice of the Georgia Bulldogs for 42 seasons. How many games did Larry Munson miss in his career? You want to give it a shot, Matthew? How many games did Larry Munson miss in 42 seasons?
42 seasons. I would say that Larry Munson missed 3 games.
He missed one game. One game behind the microphone as the voice.
What kind of dedication is that?
Of the Georgia Bulldogs. The only game he missed was in 1990 against Clemson. He was recuperating from back surgery. So Larry Munson, I tell you. And one other thing, cool. we love UGA. By the way, Saturday at the Missouri game, we had Blooper from the Atlanta Braves. Yep. Go Braves! Winning the World Series, and Trip Block loves that, and we love Trip. But we had Blooper, and we had the Bulldog mascot, but then we had UGA, and UGA was in fine form Saturday in the Missouri game. Did you know that during the UGA era, only one UGA substitute has ever been used? His name was Otto. And he subbed for the current UGA for 4 games. He wasn't a pure white Bulldog like UGA the fourth was.
He subbed for our current UGA Hugh?
No. This was back in 1986.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in 1986, our UGA got hurt. You know how he got hurt?
No. Never heard this one. No,
our UGA got hurt, and so we had to get Otto, a substitute dog, to fill in for 4 games. UGA the fourth jumped off a bed in a hotel room prior to the Vanderbilt game in 1986, and he injured. He pulled a ligament. That's what I'm talking about. That's a tough dog. Man. He pulled a ligament. So good deal.
I will tell you, the tradition, and not that you go off on a wild tangent here, and I won't keep this long, but the tradition itself of UGA. I mean, being the Sealer family and the tradition of them grooming that bloodline, and today I'm sure that their family is very, very proud now, but back when back in the day when that was first coming about, I bet you they never foresaw the impact they would have, on the University of Georgia, the college, the athletic program. I mean, everything associated with it. Yeah. It just really had a huge impact. And I've had the opportunity to see two UGAs. I saw I saw Russ. And then, of course, Q, which is our UGA now. So, great dogs. I mean, man, that dog lives in a $5,000 doghouse built by Georgia Power that has central heating and air conditioning.
And UGA was in a motel room when he got injured. He was in a motel room. Yeah, and then they say they really keep, when they go on the road, they really keep an eye on UGA, afraid he might be stolen or kidnapped by someone. Let's see, college football playoff rankings. That's a kind of a big deal, an important deal. Georgia, obviously, number 1 in the latest college football rankings. Alabama, number 2, 8-1. Oregon, number 3 team in the college football rankings. And Ohio State, number 4. Then you have Cincinnati. And, Cincinnati's undefeated. They're an undefeated team, but the schedule's killing them. The schedule's hurting them. Michigan has climbed up to number 6 after losing to Michigan State. They've jumped over Michigan State. Michigan State is number 7. Oklahoma is undefeated, but they're at number 8. Their schedule again, that's kind of hurting them. Notre Dame is number 9, and Oklahoma State is number 10. And so that's the latest of the college football playoff rankings. Of course, that will determine eventually who's going to go to the playoffs in the, in the college football playoffs. And let's see, let's look at our schedule for this coming Saturday in the SEC. You got New Mexico State taking on Alabama. Alabama hosting New Mexico State. That's a 12 noon game in Tuscaloosa. It's one of those money games where New Mexico State can earn like $1 bazillion
Oh yeah.
just showing up. Alabama should win that game, obviously. Another interesting game at 12 o'clock on ESPN. This will be the 12 o'clock game. You have Mississippi State and Auburn. Mississippi State at Auburn. Auburn, number 17 in the country. Auburn, lost last week to Texas A&M 20-3. That should be a fun game. That'll be an interesting game. Mississippi State having its problems, but then at times they flash out and play pretty good. Samford going to Florida. That'll be the 12 o'clock game on the SEC Network Plus, which ESPN Plus. In other words, you can't see this game unless you get on the internet.
That's right.
I don't know what that was. Something to hit. Georgia at Tennessee. That's the CBS game, 3:30. South Carolina and the Missouri game. That's the SEC Network at 4 p.m. Texas A&M at Ole Miss. Texas A&M number 11, Ole Miss number 15. That's the 7 o'clock ESPN game. And that should be kind of interesting.
That'll be a great game there.
That'll be a good game. Kentucky taking on Vanderbilt. That's ESPN 2 at 7 o'clock. Then you have Arkansas traveling to LSU at 7:30 on the SEC Network. So some pretty good games. Some pretty good games coming up this coming Saturday. I promised a friend of mine that I was going to give him a call. He's a big Alabama fan, and he's been irritating the fire out of me. He wants to talk about Alabama.
That's him.
And yeah, that's him. Tim Ferguson on the line with us. Hey Tim, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey bro, how are you?
I'm fine. Okay. So, this is a University of Georgia podcast, but you're wanting to talk about Alabama and the problems that Alabama seems to be having. So, I know you're a big Alabama fan, so I want to give you the opportunity to vent a little bit about Alabama and whine and complain about Alabama and all this kind of stuff.
And also get your
Well, I kind of reform my thoughts, but as I told you earlier, Alabama fans. I'm sorry, one of the cats is a Georgia fan. They actually, he may be an Auburn fan, but
was that a cat?
What it is?
Was that a cat?
It was a cat made that noise. Yes, sir.
What kind of cat have you got?
He's named Donnie. You can tell who he's named after.
Okay.
But we Alabama fans, I think we want perfection.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. I think that they're used to going out there and rolling over people. And this team is good, but they're young.
Yeah.
They're very young. And I think that's what people got to expect. They're not going to go out there and roll over. And they should this week. We're going to be at the game.
Yeah.
But I think, more likely the Alabama people are just want perfection.
Uh-huh.
The quarterback's good, but he's not as good. I don't think he's good as some we've had. The offensive line needs a lot of work.
Yeah. If Alabama just had Gus Malzahn as their coach now, I think that would solve the whole thing. I know how big a fan you are of Gus Malzahn. So.
That was a cuss word, wasn't it?
That's funny.
I mean, you're not going to believe this, but the other night I was watching Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like him or not.
I like Paul. We go to the same bar.
Paul was on.
We go to the same bar.
Yeah, you do. Y'all do look alike.
Yeah.
Not that way, but Paul had this guy there telling that the athletic director needs to tell Saban to resign and let Dabo be the head coach of Alabama.
That sounds like a plan to me, buddy. Yes, sir. I'll endorse that.
Don't it? Yeah. I bet most people would. And I asked Kathy, what has that man been smoking? I mean, Saban is a great coach. You know that.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
And Kirby learned under Nick.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just it's just it's an odd year. They have to beat Arkansas. They'll have to beat Auburn at Jordan-Hare to play Georgia.
Yeah.
And then I think if they're on, I think it'll be a good game. If not, Georgia will maul them like a cat mauled a mouse.
Okay. All
But
right, well, listen.
it just depends.
Yeah.
Sorry?
If Georgia and Alabama make it to the SEC championship game, we're going to get you back on,
Yeah.
and then we'll jive a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
And we did have one comment.
Georgia's a good team, and they're well stocked, and they deserve everything they're getting. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, Georgia's a great year for Georgia. Think about it.
Yeah.
The Braves won the World Series. Georgia's number one, so it's been a great year.
Yeah.
And
it's about
Herschel
time.
Watkins running for senator. Hey, well.
Yeah. Oh,
But
okay. Good deal.
but
right,
yeah,
man.
it's about time.
Well, Tim,
It's about time.
we appreciate you. Tim Ferguson and I are friends from way back. He loves Alabama. He will not confirm, however, the rumor that Nick Saban actually, and I have no problem with this if he does this, that Nick Saban actually does most of the shopping for his clothes from Goodwill. And so Tim will not confirm that, but and that's okay. I go into Goodwill myself. I have no problem.
Well, we go all the time, brother.
I can assure you Nick Saban ain't going.
I'm not ashamed to go to Goodwill.
All right, brother. Thank you, Tim. Yeah,
Oh,
we thank
man.
you, brother. God bless you, my man.
Okay. God bless you. You have a great day.
All right.
Yeah, God bless y'all.
Tim Ferguson, a friend of mine. I love to pick at him.
I love the
Well,
joke
Dabo.
over there.
Dabo going to
Alabama, never heard
Alabama.
of him.
Dabo going to Alabama. I like it. That rumor's starting
Yeah.
right here. Dabo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening. I mean, Saban. First of all, Saban's not going anywhere. I mean, they would have to pay him $1 billion to buy him out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe at the end of this contract, maybe, but he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I mean, even if Alabama, even if Alabama went 6-6, Saban would still not be fired.
He makes $8 million, $9 million, $10 million a year after a while.
I mean, he's not going anywhere.
Who's counting? Okay, well, guys, let's go to wrap it up for our program tonight. We appreciate you jumping in here. We love the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And we're going to be watching Saturday. We're not going to Knoxville. I can't take Rocky Top. I just can't take it. I just can't take it. And so I hope I don't hear it at all. They only play it if Tennessee does something good. So I hope we don't hear the thing the whole day, but whole game. But go Dogs. Let's keep it going. Let's go hunting. We go on hunting Saturday. That's what Kirby said. So thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we'll be having another program. We'll be having a lot of fun with the University of Georgia. Until then, the last word, Matthew, is
always the last word is go Dogs.
UGA Football News would like to thank Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, for sponsoring our program today. When the time comes to finance or refinance your home, make the smart choice and get your home loan from Southeast Mortgage. Your friends at Southeast Mortgage are ready to help you. Visit southeastmortgage.com/UGA today for more information. This and previous editions of today's sports report can be found at UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram, on many leading podcast apps, and at todaysportsreport.com. Be sure to join us for our next program as we keep you up to date with University of Georgia football and more. Until then, be safe and go Dogs.